Hello and welcome guys to another episode of Heavy Metal Detecting Passion channel. Yeah. So this week we had a pretty much bad weather, so we didn't went out to detecting, but we received a lot of questions about what coil do we prefer and which settings do we use on our machine and stuff like that. So we decided to show you what settings do we use. So this will be a short video about our Knox 800. Before we start, we just wanted to mention that settings really depends on what ground that you detect, or also, which is probably most important, which kind of a treasure hunter are you, or in which part of the world are you hunting in.
Stop. We're not going to talk about professional usage of the metal detectors. We who use metal detectors as hobbyists, we can be classified into several categories based on primary focus or part of the world that we live in. Prospectors. Those individuals that search for naturally occurring precious metal like gold and silver, often in remote areas. Coin shooters. People that are focused mostly on coins, digging in old neighborhoods and parks. Relic hunters. People who seek historical artifacts such as military items, buttons, or pieces of equipment from past events. But we must also mention that what you probably already know, it depends on which part of the world are you living. For example, in United States, where people are mostly orientated as coin shooters or Civil War relic hunters. Or Australia, where beach hunting is very common. So, why could this be important? Because in those areas I mentioned before, mostly of finds are dated in 20th century, 19th century, and 18th century. But if you're detecting in Europe, then it's normal to dig something from times like Middle Ages, something from Roman period, or even older. But I assume that you already have a metal detector and you know all this stuff. And you probably know where you're living, right? Okay, I think I went a little bit too far for you guys who already know all this stuff, right? So,
Let's move it on. Before we start with our menu selection, I must tell you that we use this program, which is, okay, let's start from the beginning. You have like park 1 or 2, we have like field 1 or 2, you have beaches 1 or 2, and gold 1 or 2. So we basically use field 2. And I don't know if we ever move or we ever change some slightly settings inside field 2. I really cannot remember what is the basics from field 2, but we are going to go through all of the menu so you could see it by yourself. Also, multi-frequency is chosen. 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40. We choose multi-frequency. Some people say some people don't prefer multi-frequency, but we do. So this is MineLab Equinox 800. You also have MineLab Equinox 600, which had some less features. But today we're talking about 800 because I don't know, we don't have 600 and I don't know what part of features are missing in 600. And I assume that you already have this machine. I'm not representing this machine, but we are just going to talk about our useful settings that we prefer, that we use for the most of the time. And that's it. Very easy. This will be a short video, not long. I'm not going to talk for a half an hour, what this machinery does or which coil. We have 11-inch coil if you really want to know. Yeah, this is going to be very simple and easy. So we turn on the machine. After you turn on the machine, you probably all know, press the settings button, which we all know, and then we enter into this menu, which have 7 steps over here, and it's all written down so you know where you are. So we have a sign over here for noise cancellation, so we gotta cancel some noise over here. Let's do it. Okay, press one more time. Okay. And then we are going on the next step for the ground balance. You all know what this means, right? I assume that we all know what it means. And we shall move our machine up and down and wait to our number become steady, which is now 75, and that's it. We are going to move to the third level, which is volume adjustments. This is, you can choose whatever you want, right? We are moving on the 4th step, which is threshold level. Threshold level, we hold our threshold level on number 0. It's turned off because this is something which I think it's pretty much irritating. Some people like, we don't. Okay, then we shall move to the 5th position in the menu, which is target tone. We choose only 5 tones for every 10 numbers here, and you know, by the sound and by the numbers, are you going to dig your target or not. It's pretty much irritating when you have like 50 sounds or stuff like that. For us, it's irritating for us. Okay, so we are going to move to the 6th field in the menu, which is accept reject, and this is what we choose. This is really basic and default. We choose our numbers from 0 to, we choose a position from 0 to 50, not select it. We only deselect this piece from 0 to -9, which is all metal level, which you can find it over here, so you don't have to hear this. And you can always, if you want to check if it's something like metal, some normal metal or stuff like that, or trash, you can always press the button over here to go directly into this level, and then you can hear those deep tones if it's some kind of a trash or whatever.
Sorry guys, but when I heard myself on this recording, I wouldn't even understand myself what the hell was I talking about. But let's get serious for a moment and let me try to explain this. First, we will remove this part because in our opinion these labels are for children and are far from the truth. Targets are represented by both the target ID number and individual segment on the discrimination scale, spaced by 10 numbers, as you can see here. In this part of the menu, you can choose which target, or in this case numbers, you can throw out without hearing them at all. In our case, we keep open all the signals from 0 to 50 because there are interesting materials for us in those positions, and we keep the metal off, which is this part from -9 to 0, which you can always turn on the right button outside of the menu. This one over here that we already mentioned. Although the most of the materials of interest to us are in range from 7 to 33, like gold from 7 smaller pieces up to 20,
silver from 18 to 33, depending on the share of silver in certain item, and so on and so on. It is generally an impossible mission for us to hear a tone between 35 and 50. Does anyone have a different experience with this machine? Or is just an ordinary garbage? I was thinking about signals from 35 to 50, not on Equinox 800. And the last one is recovery speed, which I think it went all over to 8. It depends on how fast you swing, and of course, will you lose some depth with it? So we used to hold it on number 3 or 4. It depends. Is Mrs. Heavy swinging or I? Because she's swinging a little bit faster. And this is it. And guys, we hope you made it to the end of this video, and congratulations on that, because it was hard for us too a little bit. Just kidding. We hope this 10 minutes was useful for you, although we didn't go into any detailed explanations about the machine. But that's the way we do it, and it works just fine for us. Ah, yeah. Sorry that we didn't clean the machine for this presentation of his, but this is our working machine after all. What would a video be without Mrs. Heavy? Well, here's a bit of her in the scene from the next video, where we found the World War I medallion, relics, and other things from that period. Stay positive, folks. And at the end of our slightly different video, we would just like to thank you for watching and supporting us, which means a lot to us. And also invite you, if you haven't, to subscribe to our channel, like, and share with your people. That would mean a lot to us, because, as you know, we try to be different when it comes to the videos. We invest a lot of time in editing, and we want to convey to you that feeling and vibe that we have in our joint adventures. Once again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.